ends everything. Matt Gates, 30 seconds. Why is this so passionate issue with you guys to get in front of these truckers right now?
Well, there is energy all over the country for freedom and against these emergency powers. And I think what I heard today is that people are worried that even after the COVID is long gone, the policies that constrain freedom may still be here. And so we were talking legislative solutions, oversight solutions, and there are really a litany of concerns people have, and they want the government to be more responsive.
One of the takeaways I had, Matt, earlier, the trucker said it costs about $1 a mile to operate these trucks. The gas goes up to $6-7 a gallon. These truckers have no choice but then to park the trucks.
Well, and they're being honest with us that there is an interoperability with energy prices and supply chain issues. And if the energy prices soar, these supply chain issues are going to be exacerbated. And that's something the country should prepare for if the Biden policies continue.
Gates, everybody, thank you so much for having us here. Thank you so much. God bless. And you heard it. That should really affect every consumer right now. Everybody watching us right now. What we just heard from these truckers is the gospel. This is what's going to happen if these energy policies continue. As far as what it's going to cost to you and I at the gas pump and at the grocery store and everything else. I'll see if I get a few minutes with, I'm sorry?
It is $9 right now in California.
That is with diesel.
Jeez.
Okay, so diesel at $9, and I just heard from a nice lady here. That financially could put a lot of these trucks
just trying to get a little bit
at a standstill, and the American people will feel the effects of that in the grocery store and amongst all the other stuff. I'll see if I get a couple minutes with Margie. She's right over there. But as you guys know, this is a very important issue to us. I encourage you to go back and look at the convoy footage that we had just a couple days ago. Liz Willis was just outside the Beltway. Now, from what I understand, and maybe I'll catch one of these truckers before they leave, what their plans are from this point, if they plan on around for a couple of days. I know I saw one report, we had a reporter they're going to continually to do laps. And I just talked real quick. No, we're live on the air, Right Side Broadcasting Network. I heard you guys are here. I heard you say a couple comments today. What will happen? Let's just kind of narrow it down to the consumer at home right now. If gas continues to climb like it is, what are you forced to do?
The inflation's still going to go up because I got to raise our rates for trucking. Our rate's going to go up. Everything we do, even I have an electrical business too. Everything we have, that price goes up. So we charge $100 an hour right now for our rates. We're probably bumping up to 105 to 110 to accommodate for the extra fuel cost because we got to buy it on our end and delivery end of the supply houses.
Do you guys plan on staying here in DC any longer? To do continue to do laps around the Beltway? What's your plans for that? Yes, we're going to be in
People's Convoy meeting streaming live. I didn't know we was having a meeting.
On that end of it too, because I am done the trucking business as well.
Gypsy says Alan Kelly on Facebook has the People's Convoy meeting streaming
People at
live.
home right now watching this, and they want to get involved in following.
I don't see how it could be, Gypsy, because I'm here at the Speedway and the convoy is not even here.
Everything we find at home is either Facebook or TikTok, stuff like that. But something's got to change. I mean, we need to get rid of these mandates, and we need to.
Yeah, the round table with different
Cribbins, Wisconsin.
Oh,
a long way
a
from
meeting
Wisconsin. God
after
bless.
their meeting.
Thank you, God, safe on the road there. And as he said, as their cost goes up, so does everyone else's cost go up. Every time she walks over to step forward, she gets cut off. But no.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
That's what you're hearing in the background is that
for you.
aftermath of the meeting.
I asked Matt the same question. I'll ask you, why is it so passionate to you to listen to these truckers?
It's so important. I wish the rest of my colleagues would listen to them. Everything I heard them say here are the same things I hear from my people back at home and people all over the country. It's this place up here that doesn't hear enough of real Americans' voices.
If you go back and watch, these people are angry. I mean, they want their voices to be heard. They want leadership is what one of the things I've heard as well.
They should be angry because everything that's happening is affecting their bottom line. It's affecting their ability to do their business. I mean, the gentleman up front that was talking about if
I don't know,
$6 a gallon,
Rubita.
that means that truckers will have to
I
shut
didn't
down.
get
Most
to
truckers
hear
will not be
everything,
able to
so I just don't
continue to
know.
deliver supplies,
I haven't
and
heard
affects
that, but
everything.
yeah, I don't know.
So I really wish that more people here would listen to them because they're the ones speaking the truth, not the ones talking to the microphones up there in the Capitol.
perhaps you could inspire future politicians to come get involved. And then we heard that little bit of that today, of people getting passionate.
Yeah, this is still live right here.
I'm mad as hell. I want to do something.
They should be mad. I'm mad too. I mean, it's ridiculous. Look at what's happening. Skyrocketing inflation, skyrocketing crime, gas prices out of control. And then we are not discussing anything here in this town, in our nation's capital, to remedy the problem. I mean, all the meetings I've been in this week, everything I've read, everything that's being talked about, none of it is going to actually produce more oil here in America. None of it is going to help most Americans at what they're having to pay at the gas pump. And the Democrats
RSBN.
You want to know why? They want the gas prices to continue to go up because they want electric vehicles.
I don't know. I mean,
That's
I'm
what Pete Buttigieg said it the other day. He was saying, just buy
I
an
believe
electric
I'm
vehicle.
watching it
Well,
live.
it's ridiculous. We don't want to depend on China to drive the car.
You laid out a good illustration of the money and the weapons and the ideology in Venezuela. We could actually
what I'm watching is live.
Them and the training to eventually turn on, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so think about what they're doing today. Nancy Pelosi, in just a little while, we're going to be voting on a bill to stop buying oil from Russia. But it's not. This isn't how it works. It's not a big punishment to Russia. It's actually going to. They're gonna turn around and sell their oil to someone else, and they're already selling it to China. So what that will actually do is it will push Russia closer to China, which they're going closer and closer all the way. And then we're going to see the Chinese currency be the dominant currency in the world. We are making mistake after mistake.
Right.
This is how I see it. So I'm in construction. All I know is you have to build a strong foundation first before you start putting up walls. But this town is so disconnected on how to do things. They'd rather throw up random walls in places with no foundation at all. But yeah, we'll see it switch to Venezuela. Biden is making a deal with Iran as we speak. That is in process, and that's not something we need to enter. But we're going to see this organization of Iran, Venezuela, China, Russia, and more countries joining together, and they're going to be against the United States.
Meanwhile, there's oil leases in West Texas that are silent, tumbleweeds and crickets, and I know that because I live there, and it's all due to the Biden's policies. The best smile in Washington, D.C. Martin Taylor Greene. It's true. I'm putting a vote to the House next week on that. Thank you so much for joining us and let us and come into your office today. Thank you guys very much. Go ahead and go on across. All right, so we are just about to wrap it up. This is what you can do. You need to write your local congressman, your local senator, whoever's in your state, in your district, and tell them that you're mad and you want them to stand up and fight agendas from the Biden administration.
When Brian's current meeting is done, wait a minute. Is there something I'm missing, Gypsy? Help me out if there's something I'm missing so that I can catch it too.
For the most part, that is all.
You just said I'll be back when Brian's current meeting is done. I didn't know that that there was something else going on. I guess you just left out too quick.
I know that you said earlier, trucking company, and you've owned 600 trucks, I think is what you said at one time.
Go to WY.
What's your thoughts on?
Okay, let me try it again.
Today, and what do you hope?
Live stream on Facebook, Alan Kelly. Well, this here is just wrapping the meeting up, but it's just the aftermath of it. So let me go and see what I can find on this WY thing, whatever y'all are talking about. WY TV Live. This way. See, I don't understand. Is it something to do with the convoy or is it Bloomberg? I mean, I don't understand. What in the world, baby? What's going on? Oh, he wants your phone. Oh, gotcha. I'm not finding it. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me just click. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now I finally found it, maybe. Okay. This is the current meeting going on.
This one is such a honor to be here.
Good grief.
Let me ask a question. You guys, is it not hypocrisy with the congressional people to be exempt from the mandates for the rest of the population?
He's saying those have to wear masks. So we've been dictated to as well. I mean, up until the public showcase in the State of the Union, we had to wear masks.
I thought these meetings was done. That's why I started a live stream back
They
up.
decided that, we don't want to have national TV with all these people wearing masks, and so they lifted the mandate just before the State of the Union.
But you're talking about vaccines.
Yeah.
Mask mandates have been rolling back all across the country, making people's confidence.
So what's that? It's not coming from anybody here. We've actually offered amendments and voted to try to rescind those.
I think I found it. What you're hearing on your deal, is this not, and what you're hearing on mine, are they matching up?
No, but we haven't seen, but the
Gypsy.
healthcare workers, I know, the DOD, you're so understand how we can make that.
I have no way of telling what time this started.
The question is.
Started at 2:30, she says, but I don't know.
Really or not. I mean, I guess the question is,
Yes, Matt Grant Joe says, thank you, Grant.
that's the question. Charles, so I've been on record from the beginning saying it's a person.
And we've actually voted in the committee.
Yeah, we voted.
Because it seems just kind of strange that if something's not actually, if it's not good enough for the senators or congressmen or congressional people, it shouldn't be good. It should be the same for the people that they represent, right? Because actually you guys work for the people, right?
So how many would you say in the House feel the same way that you?
Split party lines.
It's split party line.
That's responsible.
We've had these votes in the committees. So you're saying right now that if the Republican Party had control of the House and the vaccine mandate would already be eliminated?
If the people come out of the House, how do we handle the veto that even if it does pass the House, that Joe Biden says that he would veto it back to his desk? How do we handle that? Removing the emergency powers.
Also, you can handle veto as a veto.
So when we get control of the House and Senate, that would be possible.
Yeah.
This does look like the truckers. Oh, that's Brian right there. Yeah, this is definitely the truckers meeting.
Red states, blue states, and Illinois, just overpass, Indiana, Ohio, Maryland, just everywhere. There's flags everywhere. The day after 9/11.
Yeah, I keep getting flags too.
Come out.
I see Brian though on here.
Thank you for saying that to us, because we can't afford to leave what we're doing now, because so many people are trying to cling on to what they have left. For all these economic depressions from something that is just so inconsistent coming out of Washington. It's so inconsistent. And these people are clinging on to their livelihood right now, and they can't afford to come out and be that majority because they are trying to make sure that their families are taken care of. And that is why you have the silent majority. These people are being silent, and they're coming out and spending it there. Companies are letting them
Don't.
Thank you.
Get that where the mandates come from. Right. Come from administration. We can pass a bill. That's come through what they call regulatory authority, which is regulatory. We pass statutory laws. So we can pass a bill to override what the president's done through regulation, but he has the option to veto it. And you have to go after it to veto.
So you would say the power right now would be get more people
before you had to put your seat back.
walk up and think the
is to start blowing the phone.
And you know what, Fauci needs to be fired. They need to work on that because if you can't debate a position. No,
I think all of the swing and how much will let Congressman. Yeah, Fauci's kind of disappeared.
I think where we cobbled was this. In the beginning, a year ago when the vaccine began to be rolled out, I think people like myself, Ursula, Dapper, etc., we failed to properly inform, because you see, we talked among ourselves. Should we tell the American people, should we tell them what the science is actually showing us behind the scenes? We failed to explain to the public the catastrophe we were seeing in the raw data in terms of the effectiveness of the vaccine and the harms from the vaccine. So I think it's in your job, you need to go back to the other half and explain to them, these truckers are fighting for you Democrats too, and you grinders, because what they're fighting for is to protect you too from the harmful effects of the mandate. It is to protect your 15-year-old son from dropping dead on that soccer field, from myocarditis, from these vaccines. It is to prevent the restriction of early treatment to your parents and elderly parents who sit in that nursing home and will be put on a ventilator and on remdesivir, that Fauci drug that has failed and is liver and kidney toxic. So it's not for the Republicans, it's for the Democrats too. It's for our police and military who should have not been mandated to be vaccinated. I've been on record arguing this. We made a catastrophic mistake here. We should have only offered it, never mandated.
So going back to what we were talking about on just making calls and I think that's the direct result of that is the reason we don't have that mask mandate right now, or they're being rescinded all over the country. That's the pressure that's being built. And people are tired of it.
Thank you, the people.
What about the people that's worked on it? Lost everything they had because they were fired because of the mandate. They lost their everything. What about the kid up in Massachusetts that was denied a heart transplant? We met his father the other day in Hagerstown Speedway. He was denied a heart transplant because he wasn't vaccinated.
We've also got small businesses
Right.
And they still had rent payments and loan payments.
And we invite you to come to Hagerstown Speedway to meet with us.
It seriously go a long way with the people to come down there and shake hands and say hello to them. Even if it's a controlled environment of some sort, because I understand security concerns, but just coming down and just seeing
These mandates and shutdowns, sequestrations and everything, you just really reminds you.
And isn't it a constitutional right as Americans to peacefully assemble? And as long as we're law abiding, is that a constitutional right?
So, I think, so trying to bring this to some type of point with the move forward. I think some of the challenge we have here is like, if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Not to go knock the next on you, but there's a pivotal moment we're at in history, moving from woke to awakened. And right, this has become a spiritual movement. And the challenge is that understanding who politicized this in the first place, it may very well be that the Democrats are on one side of it. But if the rhinos are on the other side, and they exist, they're part of the problem too.
And we're watching the other 47 senators.
Right, and so like we're here to say, there's a point at which people have to declare, are they going to help this movement get to a resolution, the end of emergency powers, restore the Constitution, and explore the accountability for people who got us here in the first place? And is this such a meeting where that's going to happen? Or are we just talking?
I think I want to go back on what Brian was saying. The more of you that can come out to Hagerstown and shake some hands, the more pressure, because we can parlay that into see American people. We were your Pony Express bringing your messages to Washington, D.C.
matter. They're here, they're coming out, they're shaking hands.
That's that truck that was telling us about.
And use that power of having you come out and shake some.
Just look at it.
Every night.
So, yeah, let's go back to this because I want to make sure that we're having a productive meeting or just.
I want to ask you a question. So you asked.
They want you to answer.
You asked if this is just a meeting to spread a bunch of hot air or not. And I want to be very clear. People that have offered the amendments, that have supported the amendments to ban or block vaccine mandates, to remove mask requirements and everything.
I think so.
There are many people that have done that.
Convoy is rolling back into the speedway, it looks like.
Being told by President Biden, we're being told by Nancy Pelosi, including, like I said, up until last week, that we even have to wear masks. We're mandated to wear masks in the House floor to where people were threatened with fines. They have imposed all sorts of restrictions on us that we've never seen before. I have been told that I'm going to have no certain meetings with the administration. And it says, but we, the four of us, the Republican minority in that, that's right, to reverse these things. We don't. And so.
So what are the folks that sit maybe lean to the left side of the aisle that can get it through their issue or left issue that this is an American issue? If this is on a global scale, a violation of your God-given rights. There's gotta be folks on the left. There's gotta be folks on the left that we could have a sit down like this with together. The four of you and four of them, somebody to start building that connection, to start changing the minds of them. I mean, we're knocking on the back door.
I mean, I think as Sam said, I think that, going through and looking at the votes on this, and you see who it is. I mean, it's basically all party line votes.
But if the science, it's a simple thing, that everything that tools on the actual science. When you talk about following science, I have to tell you, what is happening in the United States in the last 2 years? The science to be important. The CDC and the NIH has failed the American people. So I'm saying, if the science says there's no evidence to support these mandates to be, and I challenge anyone to this room to me, bring anything you want. I have no idea, because I wouldn't believe it. So if the science says nothing, something other than science is a play here. You need to tell them that on the floor.
Power control.
Yes.
It's all about power control. We do it. And one thing I've always said, there's consequences to elections, and before the last parlay stops. And you see the consequences. The other side, the Democrats, are control of the federal government. They have the executive branch, they have the entire Congress, and the House and Senate, and that's what we're seeing.
You have the people that you have control.
That's what we'll see now.
Brian asked him too.
I guess we're gonna be hanging out on the Beltway until November.
So, I know, because it can't wait till November.
No.
And I think that the thing is that what you understand other foreign, you watch other foreign governments weaponize this in their own House, Congress, their power structures to prevent the opposing party from showing up to even make a Australia, New Zealand, and other. If you watch this happen,
The speaker puts on the floor what you want to vote on. We don't have that ability to put stuff on the floor.
so I think that part of the issue is where have the spines gone? Not that, this is a perception issue, right? There's a legitimate question: is at what point is that enough? Does it become tyrannical enough where even the people who are in the minority rise up and say, "Oh hell no"?
We're starting to see that. We're starting to see that.
Well, I don't think it's starting. I don't think it's starting. I think it's been going on. It's just that under the rules of the House, without the majority of votes, you get told what to do. And that's what we've been facing.
But your public uprising, you got to see that. And I think that's one reason why mask came off in House of Representatives last Monday, because the polling was showing that they were correct. The polls went down and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the problems, causes in their social upbringing but you got some states that have done a lot better job of keeping away with these mandates, and some states are still doing it, even though the leaders get caught doing what obstacle they say.
But what the entitlement you're saying though is when you're not in control, you're in the right. You said there's a problem with the logical leap of saying that you would permit tyranny in the absence of control. You have a choice too. In American people, we gotta wait. American people have to get that fixed, which is to say, oh, tolerating, but maybe you gotta break some rules. Maybe you gotta get loud. Maybe you gotta boycott. Maybe you have to say, none of these laws are invalid, because at what point do you, our elected officials, say, this isn't a constitutional republic anymore? If the majority uses some weaponized system against the minority to effectively make it irrelevant.
Bad. How bad it's been. Anybody who has COVID, they were saying, you couldn't even come anywhere near this building. Yet, do you know that Speaker Pelosi actually built a chamber on the House floor? A chamber to allow for COVID positive members of Congress to come through the Capitol onto the House floor, in the House chamber, in order to vote to make one. But what? It was to elect her Speaker of the House.
That's right.
That was the
I watched that.
That is, I mean, did not tell us anything. We walk in one day, plexiglass chamber up there. So keep in mind, all of these drastic efforts to keep COVID out of here and, mask and everything else, yet inviting, facilitating in the House chamber, she can be elected Speaker of the House. And our attending physician, our sergeant at arms, all of these people were complicit in this. Right.
You try to do that.
Right. I think.
No, you can't prosecute speaker. Yeah, that's right.
I think some of there are examples, and I know you see it. I think the question is like if 20 American people blood boils and it becomes a thing, and you need the support, you need an awakening, not wokeness, totally get it. But even within the party, even permitting this to evolve into the dichotomy, as a force of unity. And it prejudices your right to represent the people, right? All the members of Congress.
You're seeing, I'm old enough to remember in 1960, we had turned into riots, but protests originated too, which were civil rights and people people spoke up, They spoke at elections. They also hopefully peaceful protests during the riots. And the Congress was here, inside the aisle, let's see.
Oh, fam, I explained this in my last live feed. I had to just come back and I had to make a decision to cut out today and come back to the Speedway. My apologies. We'll be back out there tomorrow though, but things was just wasn't quite right.
Look, all of us, Republicans, Democrats, we're all sent here to represent people. Right now, Pelosi mandating down to her members and effectively then to all the people of America, what's going to happen? I think that flipping that equation around, and people that are opposing some of our efforts to respect the Constitution and promote freedom, you've got to get people to rise up and say, this is how I want to be represented. And, you saw, as Congressman Gibbs mentioned, you saw the mask mandate for us be lifted because of public pressure and public perception. I think that there's got to be more communications to, and I want to be really, not in any way suggesting any type of violence, just clear communication with, you're not representing me, you're not. And I think making it clear to these people back in their hometowns and districts what it is that the American people truly want, the majority of the American people right now.
Fam just said I met some of the truckers. They was being harassed by the police on the I-74 exit. Any idea what they was being harassed over for, fam? I hear you, baby boy. I hear
So,
you.
we started off in Adelanto, just slowly enough. I also want a long time member. The American side, in Adelanto, you know how people are. It's been approximately 3 weeks. Peaceful. I've been involved
I helped them out with some gas and reporting them.
to witness this type of thing.
Awesome. Good deal. Yeah, recording them probably was the most helpful, to be
You
honest.
guys will take
Probably kept them truckers out of jail.
Granted, we in America settle our issues and codes. We have good government.
Black roaster,
What happens is,
road star.
I'm a scientist, but I talk to the family, community, and they confide in me. What happens if they say, you know what, we can't wait 6 months to stop our time? So, in about 2 weeks, you want America to shut down the phone? No, but I'm saying, I'm not saying condone, I'm saying these people.
I don't understand. And this thing's up bubbling a lot.
Yeah, it's hard to understand anything.
Right now.
I hear you, baby.
Well, he said, my right is my own home. This is my life. Everything is in this truck. If this fails, I'm done. And she's schooling these 2, 3, and 4-year-olds. It's the most remarkable, painful thing even. So he said this has to work. And this is where these people are.
We represent police officers that put their lives on the line. We represent folks that have been in the military, SEALs, and others that have given decades of the line, that have had their career go straight off a cliff because of these mandates. We have opposed. We were able to make a little bit of progress in the law a couple of months ago for the military, but just a little bit. And we're seeing this. The truckers are everywhere. We're seeing this.
But your peaceful protest, so you're doing, and hopefully you get media attention, and hopefully some people will be awakened in here in Congress. And the administration.
Some of the people on the other side. I mean, you have to talk to them. So it's a curious answer, because does that mean we can be more effective than we can? I mean, in getting their attention, that's what I meant. I wasn't trying to, you know what I mean? It wasn't making sense.
I can't make members on the other side take a meeting or.
Right.
No, we didn't ask you to. We're not asking to make it.
I just wondered, you said maybe you can, and the question was, are you saying that we could be more effective at getting a meeting?
Well, yeah, if you have members of the Congress, we have people leverage those people to take this. 20 right now that are in your district right now in Hagerstown.
Who's your representative? Where are you from?
Well, I'm in Northwest Ohio now, but it was Bob Casey. Was my senator. And I don't know who my house phone was.
Northwest Ohio, it's not loud. Probably could be much different.
No, it's Bob.
Yeah, it's more than
So it sounds to me like you're saying that.
we stick to the choir, those two.
It sounds to me like what you're saying is if we need to get some people from the other side to vote to remove emergency powers and deal with the mandates. Right, we've got to start there. We got to start to change hearts and minds in those meetings.
Make sure they know that the people, the people that contact them are people from their district.
Senator Joe Manchin. Senator Joe Manchin. I think that's where we should start, because his state has lots of people and from the rivers. And I think he probably is powerful person in America.
We need the House for the Senate state of emergency.
Yeah, he's the most powerful person in the state.
ultimately it's the pressure of the people is what I think. And we have certainly in the last couple of weeks, the last 3 weeks, have been waking up a lot of the American people coming across this country.
So it's in House after a meeting in the Senate and have you sitting at the table and us sitting here in these chairs and get a feeling that you're saying to us, this all rides on you, and getting our feeling that you're having a feeling of powerlessness or something. It really does feel like,
well, it's a team effort, right? Like, these guys are doing what they can to pressure the majority to change their position and change their mandates. But it also requires, on the other side, the people to stand up to public pressure. And so to work in a smarter way, where you're leveraging your convoy and all those people that are part of it, and where they're from, identifying where they're from with these members of Congress, and having them do exactly what you're doing here, and people that don't feel the same way. And I think that would help too. At this point, it seems like we're just kind of kicking the dead horse. We're all on the same page. We're all on the same team here. We get that. So I want to just switch over for a moment just to express some of the things that have gone on. At least hear a little bit of some of the stories about it. We showed up to Adelanto, California. None of us had any idea.
You see me because she won't give you her phone.
We had no idea whether American people were going to support it or throw rocks at us all the way down the road. American flag and live stream it going across the country and see what happens. But it ended up working out. The people came out to Adelanto Stadium in California. And it just continues to grow and grow and grow as we came across. But through that process, we've met so many convoys that have joined in with us. And there's
nurses for medical choice.
I had somebody come up to me and tell me about how she lost everything because decided to take a stand to her employer. And some would come back and say, well, just go get another job. It's easier said. Years, and they've had 30 years in the profession. What are you going to go to Wendy's and start flipping burgers after 30 years of being an RN? I'll get in here. Stop. I had a guy come up to me, and he handed me this little American flag, and he was making me take it, and I kept saying no. Important, and I could tell by the brownish stain on the white stripes that was a flag that was overseas. This young man carried this flag in his rucksack the entire time he was in Afghanistan, and he said, "You gave it to me, forced me to take it, forced me to take this thing." And he said that he felt that it kept him safe in Afghanistan his entire time. Keep me safe in the journey coming in. Today, I handed that flag off to another young man that was with us, and unfortunately, I had to get a flight back to Nashville. But I handed it off to him because I did my mission. I brought it here to Washington, D.C., but this young man's 18. It's 5. So.
Oh, gosh. Everybody started coming back in. Now it's buffering like crazy. Well, maybe that's my cue.
And get out. He decided to stay with us the entire time, hitching rides all the way across to be with us. There's another story of where a widow sends a World War II widow sent her son up to meet up with the convoy with a folded American flag that was draped over a soldier's casket from a man that died in the tank in Germany, World War II. That flag had never breathed air since his black boxes had never seen air since. Still beautiful white, plus it only had 48 stars.
Wow.
They brought that flag to Mike Landis, one of the other co-organizers. They brought that flag up to him and they said that they want this flag to fly. This thing. To anybody fighting for freedom since World War II, what we're doing right now. Mike said, there's no way I'm flying that on my truck to get tattered, to destroy it. This flag is, I mean, anybody can serve. I know you have to serve and understand the significance of it.
Right, yeah, no.
But she insisted, thinks the flag come flying down through here through Washington, see on the back of his truck. On that trail, we went and had a custom flagpole made and everything for it because of the importance of it. And the flag was. That flag is already tattered. It's tattered already. But again, she said she didn't care. All she wants is that flag to come back because she knows that her husband will be doing the same thing that we're doing right now.
Well, that
8-year-old
right there is
kids
just
are
chilling.
writing letters to us across this country saying that we're their heroes for standing up.
They came from Hawaii, remember?
People flew from Hawaii to meet us in Adelanto, California, and rented RVs to join us.
With 4 kids and her husband.
Pregnant women,
4 kids and her husband, and they sold their lawn care business in Hawaii to make this happen.
Man.
Told me that he quit his job and sold his 401k to be a part of this because that's how important this was to him. Those are the that are in Hagerstown right now.
And they're not leaving.
And they're not leaving.
And there's more coming.
And there's more coming from across the country. There's been millions of people across. Can't express enough how important this is. That partisan BS get thrown out. That both the left and right, including some of your colleagues, is guilty of these games. I'm not saying any of you gentlemen, but it's on both sides.
They know the rhinos. They know.
You know, I think, yeah.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Every single day, I stand up on a step deck trailer and I talk to these people every single day, twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening after we complete our movement across the country to the next city, whatever. We're down here doing these loops. Every single day I talk. And every single day they're looking at me on there, with tears in their eyes, wondering what's next. They've given up. They've given up their livelihoods. They've given up their homes.
They quit their jobs.
They've quit their jobs to join this. At no point in history, I don't believe, have you ever seen such a community develop between Democrats in a crowd and Republicans in a crowd. There are Democrats in that crowd. There are gay, straight, husband, wife, male, female, every gender.
Very left side.
Very extreme
right side.
Very extreme right. They're able to put their differences aside for this. They're not fighting each other on the ground. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. My mother came down here and hugged me and gave me the biggest hug of my life ever and said that she was proud of me for putting this, being a part of putting this together. Grown-ass man. And this shit puts me to tears. And I've cried multiple times through this journey. I lost my son in September. And I'm still a part of this because that's how much I believe in this. Even though I didn't want to stop that.
Goodness.
Oh my God.
That young man that left us today lost his parents, raped himself.
Hold on,
carrying
baby.
his dad's dog tags. These are the caliber of people that are down in Hagerstown right now and are asking for help.
Yeah.
We need help.
You said earlier you're making a difference. I'm saying you are making a difference. Andres is making a difference because you get public support, good attention, and it puts pressure on elected representatives to do something. So you're not wasting time. You are making a difference. The question is, how fast will you be successful? How fast will you be successful? But you're making a difference because you put an enormous amount of pressure on these people that want to maintain the status quo of lockdowns and power control. And so you are making a difference.
Hold on, baby. Hold on, okay?
Fighting here to do it, but you get that public support, that makes an enormous amount of difference. Enormous amount of difference.
I've been a ticket for a meeting. I just want to say one, thank you. And in response to your comment earlier, this isn't, and Paul's response, this isn't a waste of time. I mean, we're absolutely allies of this. And I think that the way that I look at it is we're the foundation for a vote. We're the foundation that needs to be built on. And I think that the efforts are complementary and that we need to flip 10 votes. And, we do that as a result of y'all engaging through the constituents of different members of Congress, y'all's efforts that have snowballed. When you talk about it, how much this has snowballed. You're getting the word out, you're bringing attention to the issue, you're helping to personalize the impacts of these authoritarian decisions that are being made, and highlighting the fact that in many cases, it's not representing the will of the public, and I think it does have constitutional issues. And so this is not a waste of time by any stretch.
I love hearing
I
that.
just want to thank you for all of y'all's efforts and sacrifice. And, look, I mean, the last thing,
This is gonna be a long haul.
which sure as heck doesn't help out y'all's industry.
Yeah, we
But all of it, policies, poor government, as Sam said, I mean, this is what bad ideas and inexperienced people in leading positions looks like.
Yeah.
But before you go, because I know you're gonna run out, and I'm just quick, to say, I'm not disagreeing with elections thing. The traditional, there's allies, you gotta get a coalition, you gotta get enough votes. And that's, traditional government stuff. The amount of sacrifices that not just the people in this room, but the people who are in this convoy now and this type of experience to their livelihoods, they've bet it all on freedom. It just harkens back to the people who fought for this country, died for this country, and everything. And it's just what I hope can burden your heart when you go to sleep at night is that if you could even think about what sacrifices you could make that come close to being a little bit just like what the people on the other side of this table have made for you to fight, and use maybe different tools than you used yesterday, tomorrow. Because we do need you, just like you need us to go out and speak up. We need you to find ways to get people across the aisle at the table. Get their ear, do something unique, do something different. Think about it differently, break the mold, because we need to see our elected representatives represent the sacrifices that the people are making on the other side, because they want to see you fight for them.
Oh, come on.
I think there was a sense of defeat, a feeling of defeat early on here. I'm hoping that we can see something that doesn't feel quite like that.
Before you go, this is the part of Boris meeting, as you said, this is what the people are feeling, but if the vote recently was 48-47 in the Senate, the House hasn't taken it up yet, but President Biden, I saw him, I read, he said that if the House passes, he will veto that bill, right? You know what I'm talking about? I mean, just remind you.
Yes, he came out.
You get a
If it ever gets
Yes, I know, but here's the key. What gives him, something is so disastrously dysfunctional, because how could the POTUS, he obviously is informed by the NIH, the FDA, the CDC, etc. He has these people around him all the time. How could he make a statement like that when general public now knows that the vaccine doesn't work and the science isn't there? So he's making a threat, even before you voted, that he's going to veto the bill when there's no science. So what is he going to veto it based on what? Based on his dislike of the public, based on what? Being a bully, based on dictatorship? What? I don't understand.
I can't believe you get asked that question whenever, how can you go out there and think that defunding the police is going to do anything that makes sense, that opening the border is going to make sense, that withdrawing from Afghanistan is going to make sense, or that becoming more dependent upon Russian energy and refusing to produce American energy is going to make sense. I mean, that's what we deal with every day.
This is not about sense and logic and etc.
No, science has been thrown out the
I think that we can build pressure. We can build pressure if you guys get some congressmen.
So people will, when it comes to meeting that district, I do have one more. And then they were. So that
What did he say? Why do I have all these trucks down here? Something about band-aids or mandates or something.
I don't know.
Complain to people, even if it's not a system system. And that's why I said the power is sorry.
Taking the peaceful approach. And if they just 100% shut us down, then we'll, I guess, figure out our next step.
Well, they're definitely right that we need to get four of the, we need to get 4 liberals from the other side now, to sit down with us.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I guess the truckers are going to take a picture or a group picture of themselves here.
Wait, so we missed something? Everyone get it?
That's right. No, we're not trying to bring violence and chaos. In fact, quite the opposite. We're trying to keep it from happening.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that ends that meeting.
No, I'm gonna walk out.
These boys will be back here about an hour and a half, maybe, depending on how long they talk amongst themselves.
That's what stick around and being patient and understanding the people that you were covering. I've been watching Brian for 14 days now. He didn't seem like a guy that was going to give up a fight. Simple as we want press to hear this, we want people to see, we want transparency, and that's apparently what happened. I didn't see the live stream that was going on. I was getting it in my ear and hearing it from my buddy. That's how it worked out, and I couldn't be happier to have been able to get into that room and share with you all what was being said. So it worked out. We've been really fortunate on this trip, and it keeps paying off. So thank you very much.
First got joined up with this channel, Edwin. I kind of remembered some things he was saying. Well, Brad, you might want to think about unblocking him. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I just heard too, was another meeting at 5. Says, so Edwin Munch from this protest, I thought this was a protest. Don't know how to unblock. Yeah, I feel you. I'm not sure that I do either. I think I've accidentally run across it a few times where I could have if I wanted to, but I don't know how to do it again. But I mean, I don't know the exact meaning of a protest. I mean, a protest, yes, I do. I mean, I know what my definition is, and it's speaking out against wrongs, standing up and speaking out against it no matter what it takes, but not in a violent manner. So honestly, Brad, I think you may have your definition of protesting wrong more than anything.
It's absolutely my pleasure.
I appreciate the transparency with coming out and saying I wrongfully thought it was a protest. That shows that you're understanding what's going on now. But so, I mean, this is a protest, but yet it's, how to say it really? I mean, from my stance, because we're standing up for ourselves. But we're not being violent. So if you thought if you thought all protest was violent, then that's where the wrong came in. Awesome. Thank you, Granny Joe, and duly noted, Brad Fuller. Kalos, you sure exaggerated on that line. Why? See, I don't know how to, these meetings are all just, it's photo, whatever.
Shelley, thank you very much for that.
Taking the right approach, if anyone followed the Canadian convoys, even though it was peaceful, it still turned into what the government called an organization, and arrests were made. Yeah, we're definitely not like an organization or anything like that. Click on names, give the option to unblock if blocked. I don't think there's a name when they're blocked. I don't think their name pops back up. I haven't seen anybody's name pop back up when they're blocked on my feed.
David, thank you so much. David, thank you so much for that. Jackie, $5 PayPal. Thank you so much. Melanie says, thank you for showing Lassie.
My opinion, a meeting with all live streamers and get the message out. We need to call our reps. Meeting with all live streamers. Maybe so. I'd be kind of the quiet one sitting back with my arms folded more than anything, letting everybody else talk until it come time where the Lord just gave me the absolute right words. Lots of love
thank you very much
and support from the Netherlands. Hello to the Netherlands. Snow. Glad to have you here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you appreciate us. Share us.
Man, the phone charged up.
Click on your own picture and we'll take you to your account. Go to settings and history blocked. Probably better to leave him blocked. I'm not interested in negativity about the convoy because brand from channel.
Up and running and safe.
Person block can be removed.
Safe from the sensors.
Can also click the
So
name.
hopefully you guys understanding and bear with us. Nothing is more important than having these.
Y'all, I'm gonna leave things the way they are for a second. I gotta run to the porta potty right next to me here. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Jody just sent in a $200 PayPal. Jody, awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
People are just so supportive.
Really, it's gonna bring me to tears. You guys know that. The little tears. Mark, $20. Thank inspirational moment. It was. I was touched. I could feel what Brian was going through. I hear the story every time, and it's the same thing. All have their stories. Little short, shallow stairs. Just Jomo, thank you so much for that $20 super chat. Can't wait to see what you're doing next year.
Thank you.
Thanks. Another hallway that looks just like the last one, but on a floor lower. It's an amazing building. The size. Capitol meeting rooms.
What was that about? Oh.
Just taking pictures with you.
Yeah.
Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me? Am I getting through to you? Hello.
I'm sure they're going to anyways.
Asked if you could do radio.
It's fun, right? Now just do it for like 14 hours every day.
All right, y'all.
Crazy Trucker, thank you so much. I can't even read the names out fast enough from what I'm hearing in my ear.
Okay, so I want to jump off here for just a few minutes to check a couple things, possibly make a phone call to my bank and see if this PayPal account thing went through successfully or not. I don't know. I need to check on that before they close. Truck break-ins, they are taking plates. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to disconnect from it for a moment, but y'all stay tuned. I will be back shortly. I just need to check on a couple of things because I just got to check on a couple things. So y'all make sure to hit that bell notification on me, and you will know as soon as I come back live. It will give you a message on your drop down screen, and you'll be back with me. All right, love you, and talk to y'all soon.